It's the WC man live post Super Bowl 50 reaction video. The new Super Bowl champions are the Denver Broncos. They won the game by the score of 24-10. But I kind of want to speak on Cam Newton and the myth that black quarterbacks can't win the Super Bowl. Now, I know what you're going to say. Doug Williams. Okay, yeah. Russell Wilson. Is Russell Wilson technically a black guy? I don't know. I don't know. You're going to tell me. I don't know. But okay, I'll take that. But besides them two, Donovan McNabb came up short. Steve McNair came up short. Randall Cunningham, I don't even think he made it to the big game. When you really think about it, the stereotype of black quarterbacks is that they're not smart enough to make the reads, to make the throws when it comes to big game situations like the Super Bowl or to get to the Super Bowl. And Cam Newton is the outright pound for pound league MVP. There's no debate about it. You know what I'm saying? There's no questions about it. There's no debate whatsoever. The man was the MVP of this season, for sure. Without Cam putting on the performance that he put on this season, Carolina doesn't even get this far. Not even close. But let me spend a little bit of time on the Denver Broncos real quick. And then I'm going to come back to Cam Newton and this mythical thing of black quarterbacks can't win the Super Bowl. All right. Let me tell you about Peyton Manning's Super Bowl performance. Super Bowl winning performance by Peyton Manning, okay? Peyton Manning went 13 for 23. 141 yards and an interception. Does that sound like somebody that won the Super Bowl? Not really. That Denver defense, let's just say it for what it is. Von Miller is the league MVP, not league MVP, but he's a Super Bowl MVP, rightfully so. He was basically all over Cam Newton the entire game. I mean, it didn't make any sense. It was crazy. I sat here and I watched it myself. Everybody watched it. The whole world watched it. DeMarcus Ware, TJ Ware, those guys just were all over Cam Newton, man. It's almost like Cam didn't know what to do. And talking to a whole bunch of, YouTube analysts, talking to a whole bunch of, people that just love the game of football, they said that this was definitely the best defense that Cam was going to be going against the entire season. And it showed. I mean, you can sit there and see from the stat line that I read from, Peyton, that he didn't have a good showing himself. You know what I'm saying? So it was that defense. C.J. Anderson, he had a touchdown in this game. He also rushed for 90 yards on 23 carries. Cam Newton led the Carolina Panthers in rushing with 6 carries, 45 yards. Philly Cheesesteak Brown got hurt. He had 4 receptions for 80 yards. I think that might have hurt Cam a little bit. Emmanuel Sanders, 6 catches for 80-something yards. So, I mean, offensively, this game was brutal to watch. It was very tough. And, I got to give a quick shout-out to that Carolina defense because they definitely kept Cam and those boys in the game long enough for them to make some type of run, but they just couldn't do it because the next thing you know, Von Miller was coming around that corner. He did the same thing against Brady. He deserves to be the league, not the league, but the game MVP, Super Bowl 50 MVP. But getting back to Cam and this black quarterback controversy that's going on, I don't necessarily believe in ghosts. I don't believe in hexes. I don't believe in none of those things. I don't believe that Cam Newton is, just an unintelligent man or anything like that. But it's just like the stereotype of black quarterbacks just not being traditional quarterbacks has hindered, the position for black quarterbacks going forward for a long, long time. I mean, it just seems like every black quarterback that you think of, you have to associate them with, oh, this guy's got to be some type of runner. He's got to run some type of wildcat and wishbone or whatever, saying some option type of play in order for him to be effective. And that was a part of Cam's game. I mean, if you watched Carolina this season, you knew that this was definitely a part of Cam's game. The wildcat and the wishbone and, the read option was a big part of his game, but it wasn't the only part of his game. He was able to sit back in the pocket and make the throws down the field. But looking at his numbers here, man, I mean, this is all Von Miller, man. This is all DeMarcus Ware. This is all the Denver's defense. 46 dropbacks, 6 sacks. He's been hurried 16 times, knocked down 12, lost 1 fumble. I think he probably lost 2 fumbles. I feel bad for Cam, after the car accident. I legit, when I first heard it, I thought the man was dead, for real. For him to come back and get this far, he has nothing to hang his head over. That's why I wanted to make sure I did this thumbnail with him hanging his head with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, because I mean, the guy came back a long way. And then you look at Coach Rivera with his house burning down randomly. I mean, it's almost like you wanted to cheer for the Carolina Panthers to win this game. Their defense kept them in long enough. But I'm not a Carolina Panthers fan, but when you hear those two stories, it does kind of make you sympathetic to the story of the Carolina Panthers 2015 season, 2015-16 season. But bottom line, they just got outclassed. They got outcoached. Their defense kept them in this game long enough. You can tell that defense spent hours upon hours breaking down Cam and that offensive line, because it just seemed like, every time Cam stepped back 3 steps, 4 steps, Von Miller was in the backfield. That's what it seemed like. It just, every time you looked up, I think like every 4th play, he was in the backfield. So, let me know how you guys feel about the results of Super Bowl 50. Let me just say it like this. Peyton Manning has had one of the worst playoff runs I've ever seen ever for a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Ever. I mean, it's one of the worst playoff runs I've ever seen for a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And that's not me taking a crap on Peyton Manning. That's just the truth. That's the truth. Look at this man's numbers. His numbers in the AFC Championship game. Yeah, he scored. He threw 2 touchdowns to Olsen. Not Olsen, but I think it is great. No, not Olsen, but I think his name is Owens, right? Not Owens. Owen Daniels. Sorry, Owen Daniels. But I mean, besides those 2 touchdowns, man, Peyton Manning did nothing. He did absolutely nothing in the playoffs. And he's a 2-time Super Bowl winning champion. So, hey, you let a defense carry you. Hot defenses win championships. Just like in hockey, a hot goalie wins you championships. You know what I'm saying? And in football, hot defenses, good defenses win you championships. Jim McMahon won a quarterback. He wasn't throwing 15 touchdowns, 25 touchdowns a game. He wasn't doing that. So, let me know how you guys feel about the results of Super Bowl 50. Mr. WC. And I'm gone, folks.